Bringing a business-like approach to running creative industries such as performance, film and visual arts, that's the aim of a new faculty set up at Unitec in Auckland. The Faculty of Creative Industries and Business is the first of its kind in the country, and to tell us more I'm joined by Associate Professor Leon de Fourie. Good morning, Leon.
Good morning.
So what are the aims of this faculty?
The aims of the faculty is to bring the traditional environments that we used to have in management, such as accounting and finance, management itself, your computing and your communication studies, into a synergy place with the traditional arts environments, where you have, in our case, architecture, landscape architecture, design, as well as performing and screen arts. Bringing all of those environments together and working on the synergies that might exist between those traditional environments.
Now, you're predominantly in West Auckland, and we've got that booming film industry out in that general area. Is that part of the idea as well, to link up and provide some assistance there?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the creative industries is a rapid growing market at the moment. You're talking in Auckland alone about 13,000 to 14,000 people that are employed in that market, and that is more than 30% of the 35,000 that are employed currently in New Zealand. And certainly we want to provide opportunity for people in this environment.
Now, you've been going, what, for 3 months, the faculty? What have you actually offered so far?
Yeah, the faculty was launched out of the sustainability project that was launched in 2008. And putting all of those together, we decided to work closely with different environments, and those environments will aid us into developing possibly a qualification in something like the Masters of Creative Arts, possibly. But I think the initial thought behind that is to look at how we can better serve the graduates that we have. We feel that industry and business today is not very satisfied with the type of graduates we deliver. In that the students are very one-dimensional. They're very good at their core skill sets of competencies when they come out of the tertiary environment, but they do not have an understanding of other disciplines. They do not know how to work in multifunctional teams, and they sometimes lack creativity and innovation. So what you would often find is that a performing and screen arts student would be at the very high end of creativity and innovation, but when it comes to business capabilities, they lack in those kind of capabilities, whereas a management type of student might be on the low end of creativity and innovation. So we are contesting that perhaps we should bring all of this together and on a graduate level even teach students to work in multifunctional teams. So what you'd probably find is you would have students working on exactly the same project, but with a different perspective. You'll have the accounting and finance student, you'll have the design student, the architecture student, the computing student, and the performing and screen arts student working on exactly the same project, bringing their sets of skills together within that project, learning from one another, and have an understanding of those disciplines. So in that way, we are bringing the levels of knowledge of a performing and screen arts student up to the more business capabilities kind of orientation, whereas we get the business kind of student to have a better understanding of how do you go about designing a product, how can you be more creative in what you're doing.
Now, you had a lecture the other day from the head of the NBR New Zealand Opera.
That's right.
What was his message? I guess was they're trying to run it as a business, aren't they? A creative industry as a business.
Absolutely. Well, it is very clear that in New Zealand, we deal with the arts and opera totally differently than you would find, for example, in Eastern Europe. In Eastern Europe, you would find that sometimes 90 to 100% of the arts is sponsored or funded by government, whereas in the case of New Zealand, you're sitting with about 30% funded by government. The rest is made up by ticket sales and by investors. So it's a far more complex situation for people to be involved in arts, and specifically in the opera in New Zealand. So we have to make best use of the dollars that we invest into opera, for example. So part of the challenge there would lie in developing shows that can develop into road shows, that not one venue, that we make use of costumes in different shows consecutively, that equipment is being shared. And in doing all of this, an art director has to have some kind of business kind of orientation, know what business is about. And that skill needs to be taught.
Okay. Thanks very much there. That's Associate Professor Leon de Wet Fourie there from Unitec.